Everyone thinks a civil war starts with one big moment, one explosion, one event that changes everything overnight, but the truth is far more dangerous. It doesn't begin with chaos, it begins quietly with tension building in the background, small divisions that people ignore at first, political arguments turning personal, trust slowly breaking between communities and institutions, losing credibility piece by piece. And here's the part nobody sees coming: by the time people realize something is wrong, the timeline is already in motion and it's moving faster than they can react. It starts with information wars where nobody agrees on what's real anymore. Facts get replaced by narratives, and once truth becomes unclear, decision-making collapses because people don't act on reality, they act on what they believe is real. Then comes economic pressure, supply chains tighten, prices rise, uncertainty grows, and when people feel instability in their daily life, stress turns into frustration, and frustration looks for someone to blame. This is where lines begin to form, not officially, not declared, but socially. Groups start separating mentally before they ever separate physically, and once that divide becomes strong enough, cooperation breaks down. Next comes localized disruption, small conflicts, protests that escalate, isolated incidents that seem unrelated but are actually signals of a larger shift. And here's why this matters: because systems are built on stability, and when enough small disruptions stack together, the system doesn't bend, it snaps. Communication becomes unreliable, trust in authority weakens, and people start relying on their own networks instead of institutions. And that's the tipping point, because once people stop trusting the system, they stop following it, and when that happens, order doesn't disappear instantly, it fragments slowly into pockets where different rules start to exist at the same time. And this is where most people fail: they wait for an official announcement, something that clearly tells them what is happening. But civil conflict doesn't work like that. It spreads unevenly, unpredictable. In some places everything feels normal, while in others everything has already changed, and by the time the shift reaches you, the advantage is already gone. The people who stay ahead are not the strongest, they are the ones who recognize patterns early, who understand that collapse is not a moment, it's a process, and the timeline is never obvious until it's too late. So the real question is not when it starts, the real question is, will you recognize it before everyone else or after it's already begun?